Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jeremy. Welcome to Polyphonic Press. Before we get into the review today, I just want to remind you to check out the podcast. You can click the first link in the description to subscribe. I'm going to be doing it every Sunday probably. I know I was going to do it every Friday, but I decided to do it every Sunday. Just give it a little bit of a break for the weekend. And I think Sunday is a pretty good day for new episodes for the podcast. You know, you can stay in. Sunday's more of a lazy day type of thing. So I think that's probably a better day to put the podcasts up. And you know, Fridays you're out partying or whatever, and you don't have time to listen to a new podcast or whatever. So I think Sunday is probably the best day for the podcast. So check it out. You can subscribe, and every Sunday there will be a new episode of the podcast. So today I'm going to be reviewing Mylo Xyloto by Coldplay. Now, I just want to say that I really didn't care for this album, so if you're a fan of Coldplay, I would recommend not watching this review. If you're easily upset by criticism of your favorite band, I'm really not here to upset anybody. I didn't care for this album. If you like this album, that's great. But if you're easily upset by people criticizing things that you really like, just don't watch the review. And I don't really need the hateful comments in the comment section. It's really not necessary. But I'm going to tell you why I didn't like this album, and yeah, just wanted to start off by saying that. So I'm sure you guys know who Coldplay are. They're a British alternative rock band. They've been around since about 2000 was when their first album was released, and this is their follow-up to 2008's Viva La Vida. So this album starts off with the title track, it's kind of like an intro type of thing. It's just a little instrumental piece, and it leads into the first real song, which is Hurts Like Heaven. And it Hurts Like Heaven has a lot of electronic stuff going on with it. But the overall feel of it really changes quite a bit, and it's hard to grasp the concept of the song. The lyrics sort of take a back seat, not in the writing, but in the instrumentation and the overall production, because the production is so big. It's hard to really concentrate on the lyrics, and I know this album is supposed to be like a concept album, and so the lyrics are really important, but musically it really takes away from the lyrics rather than add to it. And this song was really just boring to me. I was really underwhelmed with it, and it just didn't capture my interest the way I would have liked. There was really one good song I did like on this album. It's called Charlie Brown. It's sort of like a Victorious type of feel. It's very like chugging along, sort of like a celebration, and something you would play once you've overcome something. I can see it being played in a movie at the end of like a race scene or something like that, like Chariots of Fire. It would be a good song in that movie. I think the one thing that I think was really well done with this song that wasn't really so well done in the opening track was the message of the lyrics was actually really carried through pretty well, and I found myself listening to the lyrics more than the instrumentation. Still has a lot going on with it, but I felt like I could get the message of the song a lot clearer. The first actual single to be released from the album was Every Teardrop is a Waterfall. And this song really sounds very commercial to me, like it was planned for radio, and this whole album really sounds like that. And I think to me, this song really lacks that Coldplay essence that they've really built up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do really like Coldplay as a band. A lot of people don't like them. I don't mind them. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I never really had a problem with their music. But to me, this song really sounds like it was planned for radio, and it was planned to be commercial, and it was planned to be just a pop hit. And it just felt like it was written as the single and not part of the album. Up in Flames, it's kind of an interesting song. It starts off with this drum beat that's really reminiscent of like 90s R&B, like Boyz II Men or something. I almost expected them to start singing on it. And I think with Chris Martin's voice and this like soft piano that's playing, those are the only instruments that are on it. With his voice and that piano, which is so synonymous with Coldplay's sound, with this electronic beat, it just sounds out of place and out of focus, and it just doesn't work. The album closes with a song called Up With the Birds, and it has a feel that's very soft. It starts off very soft with this sort of soft, like piano part playing, and it slowly builds into a more victorious song, very much like Charlie Brown. But it kind of lacks the focus that that song has. It just feels like there's too much going on, and it's sort of hard to focus on one particular thing. And that's what I'm finding with a lot of songs on this album. Sonically, this album is actually pretty good. Brian Eno, again, is the producer. He produced Viva La Vida and is very well known as a producer. And I think sonically, the actual sound is pretty well done. Like I said, though, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of elements that are really, it's really different from a lot of other Coldplay stuff. Like I said before, I really didn't care for this album too much. It's not bad, but I just felt it was really, like, just wasn't Coldplay doing their best. I think it would be better if they had stuck to their original sound, maybe expanded on that a little bit, but to do a complete 180, some bands can pull it off, some bands can't. This band can't pull it off. And I would like to see them just go back to their original sound. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. And that's just for the production. The production alone is great, but the rest of the album is not so much for me. So that's what I thought. Let me know what you guys think in the comments or with a video response. Don't forget to check out the Twitter and Facebook pages, as well as the website, polyphonicpress.com. And if you'd like me to review an album, let me know in the comments or with a private message. And I guess that's about it. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care.